good morning, beautiful people. Welcome back to the market caller for today, the 20th of April 2026. We're excited to have you all here. This market caller is brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team, and we have Lakon, Cynthia, Demola, Abigail, and myself, CJ, who are going to be taking you through the market caller for today. And in today's market caller, we're going to be running down our analysis for you. We're going to be having our technical analysis here with you. We're also going to be sharing with you our bias for various currency pairs that we've had, and then the possible trades that we're going to take. So whether you're watching us from Lagos to Abuja, London, USA, and in any other part of the world, once again, you're welcome to the market caller. So let's get this show started. Now, looking at gold on the daily time frame. Now, a lot of things have been happening on gold. Our bias has still remained the same. We're looking to see gold trade into this level right here, this daily order block. This is where we've been looking to see gold trade into. For those of you who follow our weekly market color outlook, which is our kind of our newsletter you received on Sunday evening, we showed you how that we're expecting to see gold trade all the way to this level right here before we see further sales to the downside. So this is like our point of interest for gold. So we've been bullish on gold for the past couple of months now, and this is where we want to see gold trade to before it sells to the downside. So this explains our bullishness or our bullish bias on gold so far. And today is no different. We're expecting the continuation to the upside. However, on the news side, we heard some news that should trigger some movements in the market, where we heard previously that the Strait of Hormuz was now declared open. But over the weekend, we heard that there was some disagreement and it was declared closed again. So all these tensions would have effect on gold. Usually around this period, we'll just see elongated bullishness on gold. So we might expect that to play out today while we see gold rally to the upside. So we're still bullish on gold, and our bias on that has not changed. Now, if you look at it on the daily time frame, you'll see on the 1 hour time frame rather, you see that the market opened with fear and panic to the downside. However, it is now recovering and pushing further and further upwards. And we're expecting that to continue playing out as we take advantage of the situation and trade gold to some decent level of profits and exits. Now, if you look at it on the 15 minutes time frame, we're expecting bullishness, like we said. We're expecting it to continue buying. Right now, you can see that the bullishness has already picked up earlier during the Asian session. The retracement happened, and then bullishness is now picking up again. We're expecting it to continue buying all the way to this level before another round of retracement. So we are still bullish on gold. Right now, we're looking out for an entry signature, whether it's a bullish engulfing pattern or a morning star pattern. Either of the two will trigger a buy for us on gold this morning. So this morning, we're looking for a buy on gold. I want to see how that is going to play out so far. Now, we're looking at, having established that we're looking forward to a buy setup on gold, we're going to look at the yen pairs as well, so that we'll see if there is any setup that they have for us this morning. Now, let's move to the yen pairs. All right. Now, for the yen basket, starting off with that, the yen basket has already seen some recovery. After this long sell-off to the downside, we had this markup since in March. We also said we wanted to see the yen pair, the yen baskets buy into this region and then sell off strongly to the downside. You can see how much it has sold so far. So this analysis actually played out, and we can get rid of it from the chart right now. Now, seeing what is happening on the yen basket, we might be looking forward to seeing a retracement into this region here before another round of sell. Having seen that price has sold so much and it is heavily discounted, we want to see a possible buyback to this region here and then a sell-off to continue. Now, for this to play out, we're going to see sells on the yen pairs like GBP and Euro JPY, which we'll be checking out shortly. So right now, we're expecting bullishness on the yen baskets to buy all the way to that level. And then on the 4 hour time frame as well, you can see that the first round of buys has happened. It has even broken minor structure. And now, right now, we're seeing a retracement, and we expect it to continue buying to the upside. This is what we're expecting on the yen basket. Now, for GBP JPY and Euro JPY, we're looking forward to seeing very similar things across board. But then we're going to be showing you where we want to see a possible retracement. So if you look at it on the daily time frame, you can draw your FIB this way, and then you see that somewhere around 50 and 61.8 region, there are some points of interest that price could be heading to. First off is this mitigation block right here, or kind of a breakout block right here on 50% region. We are expecting that price may trade into that region before the buy to the upside, or this level right here on the 78.6 region. So for this, we're expecting more and more sales of Euro JPY to the down, GBP JPY rather, to the downside. So for today, I want to see a sell-off from this region right here. So I will wait patiently and see how price is going to trade into this region. It's about 50 to 60 pips. So we can just wait and see. If price trades into this region, I will be looking for a sell. Right now, I'm looking for a sell on GBP JPY. Once I see price entering into any decent point of interest, I'll be taking a sell to the downside. All right, so if you narrow it down to the 1 hour time frame, you'll also notice that this is the main order block right here. So we're waiting to see what GBP will do around here. But overall, we're expecting a sell-off into the remaining part of the week. So this analysis should be able to serve us this week as we're expecting GBP to trade in these lights. Okay. Now for Euro JPY, we are also expecting very similar things on Euro JPY. If you look at it on the daily time frame as well, we're expecting a sell to the downside where we want to see price give us a good entry around this region. Sorry. Okay. So we want to see price give us a retracement down to somewhere around here. This is 50% region. This is an order block here. So either of these two should serve us for Euro JPY as our point of interest during this retracement. So for Euro JPY, I'm expecting price to get to either of these two levels and then reverse back to the upside. We can take quick sales on the 1 hour time frame, and when we take advantage of it, we should allow it to run into the various points of interest that we have highlighted so far. So looking at it on the 4 hour and the 1 hour time frame, you can see a couple of other blocks right there that price could trade into before selling. So just could sell off from here, or price could sell off from here. All right, so either of these levels here, we're expecting Euro JPY to get here, and then we'll be selling it to the downside. So Euro JPY, I'm expecting the sell. GBP JPY, we're expecting the sell. These are the two things we're expecting to see play out today. All right, so we're going to be analyzing for the dollar, and we're going to be looking at the dollar index, Euro USD, and GBP USD. Take us further on that. We're going to be having Cynthia join us right here on the market color to give us her perspective on the dollar-related pairs. Good morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, CJ. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second segment of today's market call session. I hope we've been taking advantage of every trade call we have ongoing here. That was a very insightful analysis from CJ, and I'm assuming that we paid rapt attention to everything that he said so that we can make money moves in the market this week. So without taking further of our time, we'll just head straight to my analysis for today. And if this is your first time joining the Market Call session, you're very much welcome. We do this every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So on the weekly time frame for the XY, we can see that the XY has actually been caught up in the range, but we want to see a break out of this range into this left shoulder right here at 107.143 before the continuation of the sell all the way to the downside. So what does this mean for us? On the daily time frame, however, I can actually see that price is sitting at the left shoulder at 97.411 for a break above. And of course, where do we think price is trading into? We may see price trading into this level if price react all the way from this left shoulder at 97.411 shoulder, sweep break. Price is currently at this level, and we may see some push to the upside on daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we're seeing that the most recent price action is actually bearish. right? And price is currently sitting at and price is literally currently sitting at the left shoulder on the daily time frame. So we may even see price breaking way above, and this previous low right here at 97.969 has in a way been broken, but of course if it is not really obvious according to CJ, then it is dubious. So on the 15 minutes time frame, we want to see a clear break of structure to the upside before we make a decision to the upside, right? Before we make a decision to take our positions in the market. So I'm looking out for buy opportunities on the US dollar, but I want to see a clear break of structure before taking a decision, right? So, and of course, I can spot an entry right here for the buy, shoulder right here at 97.774, sweep to the downside, break to the upside. Once price gets to this level, once price returns right back into this left shoulder, I want to buy. I want to buy the XY. So into this week, I'm looking out for buy opportunities, of course. When I see a clear break, it is not so clear. It is not so clear. So when there's a clear break, I'm looking out for buy opportunities on the US dollar. And of course, on the 15 minutes time frame, I have seen an entry to the upside. We will watch and see if this is valid. If it is not valid, of course, it's the classic box pattern failure. But of course, we'll be looking out for opportunities moving forward into this week, and we will be dropping it in the market color support group. On GBP USD, let's see what price has for us. The weekly time frame, as seen right here, has also been caught up in a range, right? The most recent price action, we're not seeing price breaking above and breaking below. It's just been ranging, and we want to see a break below this range into 1.24683. Eventually, we should see price breaking all the way to this level, and once that happens, I'll be warming up to take buy positions. So the weekly time frame, it takes place over a very long period of time. However, on daily time frame, we've seen that price has broken below this low at 1.33528, has even retraced, and we may see some continuation of the sell all the way to the downside. And on the 4-hour time frame, let's see what price has for us on the 4-hour time frame. Of course, on the 4-hour time frame, the most recent price action is actually bullish, and I want to buy. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I want to sell when I see a clear break of structure, right? A very clear break of structure, and I will be comfortable riding sell all the way when price breaks this low at 1.33915. Right, this looks like the previous high has been broken, but it is not so clear, of course. But so I will be clear on the sell of GBP USD once this low at 1.33917 has been broken. And on the 1-hour time frame, however, I can see that the most recent low was actually taken out. Right, if you look at the 1-hour time frame, sorry, my chart is taking a while to pull up. But if you look at the 1-hour time frame, the most recent price action, the most recent low, I beg your pardon, has actually been broken, and all we're waiting for is for price to retest the low that has been broken, this low right here, and then right, price is even currently sitting at the low that has been broken. So we may see price trading all the way to the downside of this level in 1-hour time frame. So after establishing these facts that I'm actually looking out for sell opportunities on GBP USD, the classic box pattern is right here. Shoulder at 1.35408, a sharp sweep to the upside and a break to the downside. Once price comes to this level, 1.35408, I want to sell GBP USD. I want to sell GBP USD. Please take note of this price point. Once price retraces into 1.35408, I will put the trigger for the sale of GBP USD. And last on our list, being Euro USD. Let's see what price has for us on Euro USD. On the weekly time frame, of course, price has been caught up in a range. Price has just been ranging. We've not seen a clear break above or break below. And of course, if you've been following the market color session, we've been looking at the left shoulder on the weekly time frame for price to eventually trade into. So once price breaks out of the range, I'm speculating that it wants to trade all the way to the left shoulder on the weekly time frame. And if you look at the daily time frame also, my chart's taking a while to pull up. I beg your pardon for that. If you look at the daily time frame on Euro USD, you see that the previous low has actually been broken and price has retraced, right, to retest the low that has been broken. And on the 4-hour time frame, if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you see that the most recent price action seems to be bullish. And of course, I'd like to see the previous low on the 4-hour time frame to be broken before I take the sell positions on Euro USD. However, on the 1-hour time frame, I can see that the most recent price action it's actually bullish also, but the previous low has been broken and price has gone back to retest that low for the continuation of the sell. And on the 15 minutes time frame, I also spotted a classic box pattern, shoulder, right? Sweep to the upside, break to the downside. Chart is taking a while to pull up. That's why you can really see what I'm talking about. But there's a classic box pattern on the 15 minutes time frame. I'm actually looking for price to retrace into. Please bear with us. Network is quite crappy at my own end, but I will call out the price point as to where I want to see price trading into this time frame for Euro USD.
All right, well done, everyone. Sorry for that break in transmission. Right about now, we'll be going into the analysis of the synthetic. What do we have going on in the synthetic market, and how can we quickly, get the opportunities we have in the synthetic market? All right. So once again, welcome back to the market color brought to you by the Value Flow Trading team. Okay, now for the synthetic market, what we have going on right now, the market is a bit quiet. However, we've been seeing a lot of opportunities, pulling up, showing up on the chart, and we can also jump on them as much as we can. All right. So that is what we are going to be looking at this morning. Now, right from the starting with this 30 volatility index 30. All right, for volatility index 30, you are going to observe that on the 4-hour time frame, our POI that we've marked for quite some days now is still very much there, and price has not really traded into it, as we still have price to come to this level, take out this liquidity point, and we can easily jump on the buy of this 30 index. So for our buyers for this 31S, is still a buy, and price is still very much in a consolidation. We are waiting for price to break out to this particular zone, and for us to start pulling up for this 30 index. All right, so let's quickly get to V75 1S. Now for V75 1S, you and I we are going to agree. Last week, you see, on Monday, how that where we have our shoulder marked out. Remember, we have this shoulder marked out on Monday, and price tapped into this level on last week Saturday, which was at the weekend, as we've been expecting. It delivered our 1:2 and even more. However, we see how that price has already pulled all the way back to this level. And based on this current move that we are seeing here, you are going to agree with me that we already have some level of market structure shift around this zone, how that price already traded above this zone, right? And at the same time, I'm still expecting more push to the upside in a long-term goal for this 75-1S. However, we are still going to see if there is a last leg push to the downside because we are expecting that price is going to tap into this PU high at the reversal of this at the pullback around this zone, but price did not, so that was kind of intentional, right? And we also have our order block seated here around that zone. So for that reason, we are looking to long this 75-1S when price gets to this zone with our stop loss just below here, and we are targeting it all the way up, right? And that's for 75-1S. And right now, where price is right now, I know some will be like, can't we jump on the sell to follow it all the way down? Yes, the sell is actually a low probability trade, and you are going to see that clearly on your lower time frame, although we have a bust pattern on the lower time frame which happened in the late midnight around 4 a.m. or so this morning, right? You see that much more clearly on the lower time frame, like your 5-minute time frame. Can you see that? So we have all this as price already came to take out this liquidity point that we have here. Price took it out, broke structure, took out liquidity at this top, broke structure around this zone, and pulled back all the way. And we've seen how that price reversed all the way to this order block, and this is what engineers the sell that we see this morning. So this particular move that we saw was engineered by this. However, this is also a good point to sell if you want to take the sell, but it's just going to be a low probability sell, right? Right now where price is, you can take your sell right now, and it's going to be a low probability trade because we already have this first leg. However, since we are expecting price to trade further to the downside, so this is going to be your stop loss won't just be this particular high, but our stop loss is going to be the 2-hour time frame high. So let's look at that on the 2-hour time frame. So this is what I'm trying to explain here, meaning we are targeting, we want to trade all the way into this zone, and our stop loss is going to be above this zone here. So let our stop loss be somewhere at the top here. Good, and we are good to go. So this is it for volatility index 75-1S. All right, so this is it for it. If you want to jump on that trade based on the lower time frame analysis, we can easily take it, but this is the first entry which had delivered well to the downside. As a matter of fact, this gave us a very clean entry signature around this zone, and that is early hours of today around 10 minutes past 4 this morning. All right, so that is it for this 75-1X. Now let's quickly move to this 75 itself to see what is going on V75. Now, if you agree with me for V75, we've seen a very clear, even though market is still within this range, but to some extent, we are seeing the range is pushing all the way to the upside. However, the levels we marked for our sell right about this particular point here, because of this shoulder, this break, and this particular zone, the level we mark for our sell, you can see that price has not really come to tap into that level. So we are still of the opinion that when price gets to that zone, we still want to take a quick sell of this 75 index. So this is going to be our sell zone for this 75 index. All right, this is going to be our sell zone for this 75 index, and where are we selling to is going to be all the way to the downside here. However, if this sell as price is coming down, if this happens first, then that implies that we are going to buy, is going to be a buy to sell. But if the up move, this buy momentum that we are seeing gathering here, if it happens to trade all the way here, there is going to be a sell to buy. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to explain for V75 is that we are most likely going to see something of this nature on V75, meaning we're most likely going to see price come all the way here, then we follow it all the way to this zone and follow it back to the downside as price going to trade somewhere all the way here, right? So this is what we are most likely going to see, or price should go all the way up. We are going to see trade all the way up, then we take the sell and follow it down. When it gets here, you offload and follow it all the way back up. So in a nutshell, this is what we are seeing on 75 index itself, meaning with our stop loss just below this zone, and we have our take profit somewhere at the top here. Why? Because price is still within strong consolidation state, as we all can see. All right, so that is for the 75 index. And lastly, we have this 100. Now, for this 100, if you would agree with me on the higher time frame, you are going to see that this 100 is still very much in a buy momentum. This is a buy zone, buy all the way to the upside. However, we've been seeing some level of retracement towards the downside. So what does that tells us? If you look at it on the 1 hour time frame, you are going to agree with me that price already pulled all the way to the downside. So if you are going to draw your Fibonacci just to see the discount level where we can easily join a buy from, then that implies that all the way here, as price got into a discounted point, yes, it has. So price is currently in a discount point. So all we are going to be looking forward now is to see where we can easily join an entry position for a buy. And on the 15 minutes, what I'm saying that price is most likely going to do is price coming to trade into this particular order block that we see just at the origin of this market structure shift on the lower time frame. And at the same time, we are going to see a sweep of this liquidity point around this zone here. So when market trades all the way here and take out this liquidity, then we begin to look for opportunity to long volatility index 100, this 100. So this is the outlook for this 100. It's going to be a very short stop loss kind of trade because this is a lower time frame. And what are we targeting? We are targeting all the way. You can do your 1:4 or 1:3, right? That is it for this 101S. All right, so this is going to be it for synthetic for this week. Let's watch out for this 30, this 75, 1S, this 75, and this 100. All right, so this is going to be it. Let's quickly move on to see what exactly is going on in the indices market, so that we can take opportunities on there too, as we'll be hearing from Demola. What are the opportunities that we are seeing on the indices market? Good morning, Demola.
Good morning, Lincoln. Thank you so much for the analysis on synthetics. Right. Okay. Very quickly, we'll be looking at the synthetic market. On today's commentary, we saw the news that came out yesterday. For those that are not aware, the Strait of Hormuz anyone, was open on Friday thereabouts, causing a rally, and then by Saturday, it was still open. I think yesterday, it became closed again, and that made the market, open with a gap. If you look across board, you will see that the market opened with a gap, right? There was a gap down. So those are the kind of fundamental we're talking about, meaning these uncertainties in the market, and we can see clearly how it happened across board. We saw a tank on US 30. Notwithstanding, the market is still very, very much bullish in terms of technical analysis, although from the daily time frame, this look as though we should expect a sell from this zone, right? This is a classic box pattern, sweep and break, and then price returning to this level to start selling against the downside, right? But that is really subject to seeing the current situation of the market in terms of sentiment, right, and fundamental analysis, right? So for me, I'll be very careful this morning. I've marked this zone. I have this zone marked out. this entire zone, right? For a possible, I would just want to see the reaction, okay, from this zone here, a reaction of what can happen from this zone, and that means we are buying even up until this zone, right? On the 4-hour time frame, what do we have? We just have price rejecting a few levels here, a few levels at this zone. In fact, rejection is happening from this, which has been rejected before. So I believe strongly this is just a reaction, a retracement. Price should continue the rally to the upside on the 2-hour time frame. Yes, I'm looking for areas that have not been mitigated before that we can use to, start buying. I think this one will work. This area here would work for continuation, right? And on the 1-hour time frame, we don't have any other block. Okay, this tiny other block here can also work, right? This is like the closest area of interest that's not been tested, which would expect that price would rally from into this big zone, from which we now determine clearly whether we are going to continue the sell, resume the sell to the downside, or just continue the bullishness in the market. All things being equal, if there's a clear-cut, agreement, because all of this, the street is open today, and then by tomorrow you close it again. It's affecting the market. It's causing a lot of uncertainty, right? And so that's why we are seeing strong bullish candle and then strong dumping of those sells again in the market. You can see how this went up and then the same energy came back due to the fundamental cleanup. But then we'll just stick with what we have this morning. I believe strongly that price could rally from this zone, right? From this zone to the upside. This is like the closest area of interest that we have right now, except if you want to extend everything and cover this entire zone. This is like the closest area of interest. By the time you refine, you can now refine into that first order block, right? Because from that first order block, there's so much possibility of price reject, and then it makes your risk to reward even more refined. You have more risk to reward. So this is what I'm looking at this morning. Overall, we still have a long place to go. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, again, we see that we have this level that has not been tested before. This level that has not been tested before. So there's every incentive for price to dig into this and then just start heading for this zone, right? Start heading for this zone. Let me adjust it properly. Start heading for this zone, and that will give us a lot of wins before we hit this resistant level for us. There'll be a lot of points to cover. So that's what I'm looking out for this morning in terms of even intraday play. I expect price to still sell further down into this zone, and then that will now give us some form of push to the upside. Although what I will appreciate also is a form of inducement. I want to see some form of inducement around here to the upside, something like this, something like this that will just go up, and then price will now take out the inducement for it to continue, right? So I will appreciate that kind of level to give us more confidence to take the buy. All right, that being said, on US 30, let's move quickly to NAS 100. Also the same scenario across board for NAS. Well, as you can see, NAS has broken structure since last 2 weeks, right? We are clearly bullish. Now we expect some form of retracement, on this support, resistance term support, right? So, and then we can even see it further down to the downside. This is like a breaker block, the breaker block here, which price violated. So it can come back into this zone, and then we'll see a continuation to the upside. This retest of this zone, then come back and then continue to the upside, right? And then if for any reason the chaos continues, So that will now clearly give us a proper retracement, probably 50% or even more, right? The downside. You can never expect, you don't know what's going to happen, except you have, somebody in the White House telling you stuff, right? But then technical analysis, following technical analysis strictly, we should expect some form of reaction from this zone. This is an order block that was violated, and then if price should retest it, becomes a breaker block that will now support the run to the upside. I hope that makes sense. All right, that'll be all for NAS this morning. On the 1 hour time frame, there's really nothing to do. Price haven't changed structure, even minor structure. So it's scary if you're looking for sales. It can be very, very counterproductive, right? So even if we say price is going to sell to that level, looking for sale now will be really, really risky. Why do I say so? Because price might as well just look for the closest 15-minute order block, and we test that order block and then continue its movement while we are waiting for price to come into this 26,294 spots 97 level. Might not come all the way down to that position, right? So, and that's the reason for that. Assuming we saw a clear break of structure, like a clear sweep, right, shift of structure here, we can look for minor sales in this market, target this other block here, and then start selling down to that level. But that's not the case this morning. So we watch and wait for New York market open. That would give us more momentum, right? More information about what we should expect even today. All right, very quickly we'll move to S&P 500. The same thing, the gap that the market opened with this morning, I believe is going to be closed very strongly. This gap is going to be closed. In daily time frame also, you can see clearly that we have broken structure. We are clearly bullish now. The market is bullish. 4 hours, this is what we have. I'm looking for the closest area of interest. This chart is quite messy, to be very, very honest. It's quite messy, but nonetheless, we'll analyze and then see if you can take position. However, if you cannot, we use this as just confidence and then take position on NAS and US 30. All right. So on S&P 500 this morning, we have a gap which we believe will be closed. Probably New York session. Yes, it will be closed. But then this level has been used, has been mitigated. This one hasn't been mitigated yet. This tiny other block here. And so we can as well expect price to come and then start buying from here. Use this as an inducement, right? An inducement has been created already. And so then continue our journey to the upside. That's a big possibility this morning. All things remaining the same. Have something like this. So this is kind of a risky trade. 1:8. This, let's cover this first. 1:6. That's 1:7, right? 1:7 price coming into this zone, and then it covers the gap. This 1:7. If it continues, then we know that this 1:10, right? The potential 1:10 trade this morning. But I'll be watchful. I want to see what the market does before New York market open, right? And then type of price action I'm going to see here, right, to determine whether or not I want to take this buy in the market. All right, that's pretty much what I have going on today on the indices market. Over to you, Abigail. What's happening on the commodity market? What do we have this morning?
All right, Demola. Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to the Market Caller session hosted by the VFT team. Okay, so very quickly, we're going to look at the commodity currencies markets. By that, I mean, we're looking at asset classes like AUD USD, NZD USD, and USD CAD. So we see the opportunities that present themselves today. Starting off with a look at AUD USD on the 4 hours time frame, you'll see that price has been pushing upward. Whether you are a naked chart trader, a price action trader, technical analysis, it's showing that price has been to the upside for a very long time. Now, just a side note, I know that these indicators may look like a lot, and for those of us who do not or have never interfaced with these indicators, you may already be getting confused. Please do not get confused. Pay attention to the price points that I'll be calling and the zones, okay? So price has been pushing upward for a while. Sunshine was printed as a last week, so this sell was very much expected to happen because of the profit-taking indicator that's presented itself and delivered over 100 pips. So price is currently here now. What am I now thinking is going to happen on AUD USD? Remember that our overall move is still a buy. I'm expecting price to either hold at certain support levels or keep digging deeper till it finds a support zone that holds. How would I know that? You'd see that on the 1 hour time frame, which I just changed to, I marked out certain level points. Our farthest point of interest being 0.70325. This is a very far support level that could hold on the H1 time frame. So price could retrace all the way back into this level before it continues the overall buy move. But you see that on 5-minute time frame, I marked out other level points which we're going to go into very, very soon. Let's just see H1 more precisely. So price is here. It has sold. It left a gap. Price already bought back to fill that gap in some sort of way, let's be sure. So you can see here, price already came back to fill the gap that the market left. It is now at a support that could act as a current resistance zone. So if price is able to break through this level, AUD USD buy may just be back in full force. But if this support turns resistance and actually holds, which is looking like it will because of the multiple, rejections we've seen around this level, then we may see more sell, temporary sell of AUD USD before the overall buy is resumed. Moving to the 5-minute time frame, so you can see the setting or the specific level points that I marked out. We have 4 zones, 4 different support and resistance levels that you should take note of. The first one is 0.72196. The second one is 0.71970. The third one is 0.71505. And the fourth one is 0.71082. You can go back to rewind this video on our live section and get the specific price points all over again if that was a bit too fast. So these are now the 4 POIs that we've marked out. Price is already showing here. You can see how price traded into our trend indicator, our pullback indicator, and then dropped. There's also another level here. So is there going to be more push downward? It's looking like there may be a bit more sell into this level, at least before the buy is continued. So we're going to be watching. In as much as we now have the overall directional bias, I'd want to see some confirmations that would make me know which of these zones is going to hold. But generally, my view for AUD/USD is a buy, temporary sales happening, and we'll see how much more they sell for, or we're going to see which support level holds by looking for confirmations. And if you would like to know how to spot these confirmations for yourself, you know what to do. Send us a message on WhatsApp 081 60 99 50 30, and we can teach you how to get your confirmations using all of the strategies that we have taught you today or analyze the market with this morning. So next, looking at NZD/USD on the 4-hour time frame, you see that the major structure, which is from here to here, was the sell, and price is currently gradually breaking through. We had a break here, another break here. Momentum is facing upward, but our trend is still sloping down. You see why I marked out this key resistance level. I want to see price come and take out this one, so I know that these buys that are happening are going to be long term. Yeah, however, price has already broken structure, so the buy is something we're going to be considering. You can see where I started to buy from all the way into this zone, but don't forget to pay attention to what the resistance level on the left side of the chart. So this is where price now currently is. You see that I also marked out the same POIs I marked out on AUD/USD. The first one is 0.58158. This is a support level. The second one is 0.58457. The third one is 0.58955. These are 3 POIs that I'm watching out for on the 1-hour time frame. Very similar to AU as well. price broke through, it sold because of the sunshine printed, profit taking, left a gap here. The market has come to fill it up. There is a support level here, acting as a current resistance. So we may see more temporary sales of NZUSD into our next point of interest, which could be here or here. But price can also break through this and give us confirmations that will make us know that the buyers are back in full force. But right now, what we see is temporary sell opportunities on the H1 time frame. Also coming to the M5, you see that we also marked out 4 POIs here as well. Point of interest 1 is 0.59289. Point of interest 2, 0.59198. POI 3 is 0.58813, and the fourth one, 58796. Price has now violated all of these zones and it is trading lower. Support, resistance, support on resistance, NZUSD has or is giving us more view for sales for at least today. We're going to see how today closes up, and of course, when we see trade opportunities, we will be dropping them in the Telegram community. So please make sure you have that community pinned on Telegram. And finally, looking at USD CAD on the H4 time frame as well. You see what price has been doing. This guy is downward, it has broken structure to the downside. So now there's a sunshine here that has been printed on this particular asset class. Let's go to the H1 to see the levels that we marked out that could act as, resistance levels for the sell to continue. Point of interest 1 on USD CAD is now, let's go ahead and get the precise levels. Now, these are more of zones than price point, but I have to use this because of the indicators. So these are more of zones. So first point of interest is 1.37241. Second POI is 1.37496. And the third point of interest is 1.38243. These are not the 3 POIs that we're watching out for that could act as, resistance for USD CAD to continue to sell. Now, quickly look at 5-minute time frame to get even more specific points of interest. It's loading up, so let's give it a bit of time. Okay, so we now have this on our screen. And on the 5-minute time frame, you see that we marked out these POIs, the first one being 1.37349, the second one 1.37007, and the third one 1.36933. These are now the 3 levels that we're watching out for on USD CAD. Price is already coming to react from them. This is support that could act as resistance. And what is price doing? Acting as resistance, reacting downward. If this is going to hold, this entire level point is going to be broken down. And if not, we're going to see buys happen. So we need confirmations on all 3 asset classes that we just looked at, and then we'd know for sure what we're going to be doing. But we have our general objective and our bias in check already. So do well to keep these asset classes in view, and let's see how we can make some money this week. As always, we have our training coming up this month, next month. That's next month precisely. It's going to be an ultimate traders course that covers everything you need to know to becoming a consistently profitable trader. And it is something that I definitely advise all beginners, even intermediates who are not yet profitable, to enroll for. Okay, to get more details on that, simply WhatsApp 081 60 99 50 30 so we can share more information on that. With that being said, I do wish all of us a profitable trading week. Let's be active in the market and see what this market has in store for us. Okay, have an amazing trading week, everybody. Thanks once again for joining. Shares and God bless.
CJ, she don't finish. She don't finish now. Yeah. You said go carry system go there.
I said, network is a load for my side.